Hi, I'm Dave Cousins of the Strawbs. You're listening to me on Rock On Radio. Stay tuned. You'll love it.
All right. Hello, everybody. It's Sunday night. We're in Hightstown, New Jersey. We're live on COARadio.com and SocietyBitesRadio.com. This is Rock on Radio, and I am your host, Danny Coleman, and I am joined in studio by Engineer Art.
Hello, how are you?
There you go.
I'm melting.
Producer Claire is still in a remote location, I guess.
Afghanistan, it's probably cooler there.
Maybe. She might be there for
Claire, how's that
quite
game?
a while. But yes, Claire is on the she's on vacation this week from somewhere. I don't know where she is, but she's on vacation.
Must be nice.
Right? To not be found. I'm kind of liking that. We have a YouTube link tonight, Art.
We do. It's on right now. COARadio.com. You will see YouTube on the right-hand side. You can just click that link and you will see it.
Oh, there
It'll
you go.
pop right up.
It'll pop right at you. Pop right out. Yeah. Haha. Hello, everybody at home. Yes, I'm looking at you. Rock On Radio is sponsored by actress Eileen Sullivan, CPA Jody Weber, O'Connor's American Bar and Grill, as well as Johnny's Autoglass, High Tech Electronics, the purveyors of safety and sound earbuds. They light up. They pulse to the rhythm of the music you're listening to. They're great for people who jog at night, so you can see them. They're pretty bright, aren't they? You
Yeah.
said you have a pair, right?
Yes.
Okay. As well as the Custom Candle Company of New York. Custom Candle Company, that's customcandlecompany.com. You can check them out. Also, they also sell CBD live natural oils for those aches and pains that just don't want to go away. Try the CBD live natural.
I have lots of those.
See? Deuce Music is a sponsor at 8 p.m.-ish. We will have the Deuce Music Minute. Tonight we feature Mark. We're both
Del May.
Del May. There you go. He will be the featured artist of the Deuce Music Minute this evening. What else do we have? Zen Archer Hot Sauce. Mr. D.L. Byron. The only radio program sponsored by an award-winning hot sauce maker. Grammy award-winning hot sauce maker. Forgot to put that in there. You won a Grammy. You know that?
I didn't know that.
See that? And of course, we have our guest this evening, who Art is just opening up as we speak. Mr. R.G. Bob Evans.
Hey, thank you. Good to be here.
Would you prefer that I call you RG or Bob?
You can call me Bob as long as people know if they want to find me online, it's RG.
There you go. See?
Because if you...
I know where you're going with that. As soon as I said I got Bob Evans coming on the show, they're like expecting breakfast.
And that's the reason why I'm RG.
RG, correct. I knew exactly where you were going, Art. We also have a young lady who body doubled for Angelina Jolie.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. She's an actress and a singer-songwriter. Melanie Tolbert will be calling the program this evening just before the Deuce Music Minute. And that'll be around 7:45-ish, maybe. She's got a brand new song, which is kind of fitting for the City of Angels platform because they deal with addiction and recovery, and it is called Addiction, I believe is the name of the tune.
Nice.
Yep. So we'll be airing that
I'll be anxious to hear it.
live on the radio here, COARadio.com. If you want to give us a call, please do so at 609-241-7103. If you want to email us, you can do so through our website, which is Danny Coleman's rockonradio.com or DCROR.com. The quick link, DCROR.com. Facebook, Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio 2, the number 2, as well as Twitter and Instagram are at Rock On Radio, all one word, all capital letters. So that's our social media. And if you want RG Evans, alias Bob, you have to go to.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at RG Evans Music, and on Twitter at just RG Evans.
And there you have it. See?
Nice.
I like that.
I
Okay.
also have my very own website, www.rgevanswriter.com.
Perfect. We're going to get that out there as often as possible this evening. 609-241-7103. 609-241-7103. If you want to join the conversation and win a copy of this Sweet Old Life by Bob Evans. And we're going to get started. You got nothing, do you, Art? Other than it's ungodly hot here in the
It's ungodly
Northeast.
hot. It's time to start registering for the run in September.
oh,
That'll be here
Go ahead.
before you know it.
oh, that's only a month and a half away.
You can go to walkwiththeangels.com. All the information is right there. Sponsors, if you're looking to sponsor, that information's there. If you are just looking to register for the run or walk, that information is there. If you would like to set up as a vendor, there's no cost for that. No. The more the merrier. So we have some people already set up for that, just because there's a lot of hanging around time. So we just try to have a lot for people to take in while they're waiting for results and things like that.
I left the house at 6:45 this morning, 6:50 maybe. Got in my car, and the outside temperature read 92 degrees.
It was hot early.
The humidity is off the charts. It's literally like a sauna when you walk outside. Because my crazy child, my eldest,
I saw that the triathlon.
the New Jersey State Triathlon was today, and it's run in Mercer County Park.
That boy ain't right.
Well, what they did was they cut, because of the excessive heat, they cut all the distances in half. So it was already like,
That's still hot.
yeah. So instead of running or biking, whatever it is, 15 miles, 16 miles, they only biked 8. Instead of running 12 miles, they only ran, or 6 miles, they only ran 3. It's a small triathlon. It's not like the Ironman he did in
It's still.
Syracuse.
I feel
last
not
year.
relieved already.
Right? But so that's why I was up early. It was ungodly hot. So, but I want to congratulate my son, who actually finished, as he does all the time. He runs and runs and runs and swims and swims and swims. And,
The swimming part was probably good.
well, I said that. He said they even cut the distance down on that
You figured they
because
doubled,
it's so hot. I'm like, but
they
they're in the
double that
water.
down on the rest of it.
The temperature of Mercer County Lake was 88 degrees.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that's how hot it's been. You know what I mean, RG?
I know.
I'm telling you.
That's like-
All right. Now, without any more babbling from myself, yeah, right. We have our guest this evening here on Rock On Radio is RG Evans, alias Bob. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Danny. How are you?
Oh, we are fantastic. Fantastic.
All right.
Since I've never met you, this is a first. So we'll start with the basics.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from Maryland originally,
Okay. What part?
Elkton,
Ah,
right
over
across the Delaware
yeah,
River
right over the
Bridge.
border there. Yeah, the home of all the elopers.
Indeed.
That's
Martha Ray famously got married there.
oh yeah, that's I know people used to drive to Elkton, Maryland years ago to get married, to
Yep.
elope. Okay, so you're from Elkton.
Yes, sir.
How do you wind up in where are you at now?
I live in Salem County, New
Oh,
Jersey.
Okay, so you're in way South Jersey.
I've been there since 1986. I came over here
Okay.
and took a job teaching high school, and I've been teaching at the same high school in the same classroom for 33 years.
Oh wow,
I may have one more in me,
think so?
maybe.
Just one?
I think so.
I don't blame you. I'd go the day I was eligible. Something I've learned recently is that retirement is really cool. And I'm really sad that I'm not retired, at least from my my day job. Yes, I know. You're all asking yourselves, why does a high-profile internet radio hosts like you have a day job.
Retirement does rock.
Art will tell you. Yeah, high profile. Right. So anyway,
I work 2 hours a week.
my buddy just retired, and it's rough, ain't it? My buddy, that's here.
I'm doing it right now.
My buddy just retired, and he retired 2 years earlier because the financial hit wasn't that, didn't really matter that
I'm
much.
well acquainted with that.
But he took he took the hit because it was minimal, and he retired. And he said, because I know so many people that work till they're 62, 65.
Oh, yeah.
6 months later, they retire, they're dead. That's true. I mean,
No,
you
I know some myself.
by the time you get old enough to retire, your body's like old enough to just shut down.
I'm not doing that.
See, there you go. Don't ever retire. All right. So you teach school by day. What do you do with your summers?
Well, since I took up songwriting a few years ago, I've been spending a lot of time writing some songs. I used to play in a cover band back when I was in high school and in college. And then I got a job teaching over here, and the music sort of went away. And then just sort of picked it up a couple of years ago. And so I went to a songwriting workshop, and the leader of the workshop encouraged me. And she said, you got to get in and get some of your songs recorded. And that's what I did. And the result is what you have in front of you there now.
Is this your debut
That's
disc?
my debut disc, 45 years in the making. Come back 45 years from now for my sophomore effort.
So you've only recently begun writing songs.
I've really written since I was a kid, but seriously, just recently.
All right. What made you want to do it seriously?
Well, to tell you the truth, some friends of mine did a documentary on this poet that we all know, Maria Mazziotti Gillen, and they asked me if I could write some music for it. So I wrote some instrumental music for it, and then there's just something about some of the things that she says about poetry that kind of struck me lyrically. So I ended up writing a song called "The Crows of Patterson" that they featured in their documentary, and that's one of the songs on the CD, and it's one that's gotten quite a bit of notice over the last few years.
What was that like, writing for a film score?
Well, I had nothing to compare it to because I'd never done anything like that before. I don't have a recording studio. Everything I recorded, I just recorded on my iPad. But the results were pretty good. It's a documentary called All That Lies Between Us, and it's available on YouTube. Anybody can check it out. And Maria Gillen, the feature poet, is just a force of nature.
Okay.
She's really something.
No. Now, where is she from? I'm not familiar with her.
She's from Patterson, New Jersey. Yeah.
Patterson, New Jersey.
City of Poets.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah.
Are there a lot?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
So
much
many
about
that I'm
Patterson.
drawing a blank on all of them right now. This is terrible. Allen Ginsberg.
I've heard of her.
William Carlos Williams nearby. In fact, they just made that movie called Patterson that was about a bus driver that wrote poetry in Patterson. But right now, I think Maria is the driving force behind all poetry in Patterson.
Okay. Now, when you write, do you write in a form of poetry, or do you write like you were just taught in songwriting class? Or are they the same?
They're similar. I mean, one of the kisses of death in writing poetry is a cliche, but it seems like the popular songs are rife with cliches. So when I write a song, I try to avoid the cliches. Now, I probably should have said that later in the show, because now if anybody's listening to my songs, they're going to say, I don't know, he said he avoided cliches. There was one. So I try really hard to stay as fresh and original in the language as I can, just like I do in poetry.
All right. So what do you find yourself writing about? Where's it coming from?
I try to stay receptive to bits of language that I hear or images that I pick up along the way. Carry a notebook with me. I carry my phone. I've read 85 voice memos to myself about things that I've seen or heard along the way. Little snippets of melody. So it just you just have to be receptive because ideas can come from just about anywhere. And if you don't record them somehow, they'll just vanish.
Yeah, they'll go right out of here.
Mhm.
I've had that happen even when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
You know, uh, well, I think so many times people try to force their songwriting. You know, and it doesn't always. It's never beneficial. Um, a lot of people who've come through these doors have said, you know, this is our favorite tune. This is the one everybody likes the most. And we wrote it in 20 minutes. Like that's a bad thing. Yeah.
Right.
No, it's good. That means it was flowing out of you.
Mhm.
Go with it. And that's not necessarily the case a lot of times. You know, well, I started writing this about 20 years ago, and I shelved it, and then I brought it back, and then
Every once in a while, you get one of those songs that feels like it's writing itself. One of those 20-minute numbers, like you just
Correct.
talked about. But usually, you know, I'll have an opening verse or something for a song. It'll sit around for months, if not years, before I come back to it and finish it up.
yeah. Do you ever, that's what I find. You know, I've been asked in the past, how come you don't write songs? You know, you write for this, you write for the newspaper, you write for the magazine. How come you don't write songs? There's a big difference between what I do for the newspapers and the magazines than writing a song. You know, I can write down. I mean, I get thoughts bombarded all the time. I'm bombarded with thoughts, and I'm bombarded with phrases, and I'm great. But it's like one line, maybe two lines that come to me, and then I've been kicking this one around. My daughter gave me a box, and inside the box were all of the VCR tapes that my ex-wife and I had taken of my children growing up. They had transferred to DVD. And she gave it to me. She said, and she looked at me and she goes, Dad, I need them back when you're done. Go grab a box of tissues and enjoy. And she handed them to me as she was, she kind of just, I saw her, my friend that just retired, used to live across the street from my children. And she kind of handed them to me, and then she got her car and she left. And I was just like, you know, my daughter handed me a box of memories. But I couldn't get past that line.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I got that written, but I couldn't get past that line.
Well, that's such an emotional thing, too. I mean,
You would think it would start flowing out of
you'd
me.
have to find, sometimes you find that you have to find some distance. You have to make some distance between an emotional event and the writing of that event. Like Wordsworth said, poetry is emotion recollected in tranquility. You know, so you got that phrase, but then you had that box of CDs, you had the DVDs you had to go through. And the last thing on your mind was writing a song about it, I'm sure.
Well, it was just funny, some of the things that happened. Some of the things I saw and relived that were joyous. Some things where I was like, ooh, did I really just say that? You know,
We have all those tapes at home, too. I want to get them transferred, too, but I'm afraid to, for that very reason.
sometimes as I've been told, you know, you have to look in a mirror and look at some of the things you do or say and think, oh wait, that's not how I wanted that to come out. Wait, can we rewind again? But and it all goes into the human emotion of things. I mean, take a guy like Springsteen who just writes down what he did all day, and it becomes Born to Run. You know? There's various ways to do it. Well, what inspires you?
Inspired by a lot of different things. I think if you took every one of my songs, each one has a different inspiration behind it. Like this song I was talking about, "The Crows of Patterson," which I'll probably play for you. In a
Which
little
is the
while.
second track.
Yeah.
Actually, we're going to get to some music as soon as we're done talking about this.
It has Maria Gillan tells her poetry students, of which I'm one, that everybody has an imaginary crow that sits on their shoulder and speaks to them in the voices of all the people that have ever told you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not fast enough, you're not attractive enough. And she says you have to ignore that crow and go down into a place called the cave down inside you, where all the true stories of your life reside. And just that hearing that from her so many times was the inspiration for this song. She's from Patterson. Patterson's also known for the Great Falls. And the Great Falls have a great voice, and Maria has a great voice, and she talks about these crows that you have to ignore. So I came up with the song "The Crows of Patterson" based on that kind of allegory that she tells her students.
Okay. If you're just tuning in, this is Rock On Radio. I am Danny Coleman. Hello, everybody at home that's watching on YouTube. We are live on COA Radio and SocietyBitesRadio.com with that man, Bob Evans. But you can find him under RG Evans. Let's do some music. What do you think?
Okay. I'll play the song "Crows of Patterson."
Beautiful.
Hear the voices of the great falls, hear them echo through these urban canyon walls. Native daughters of immigrant sons, all feed the crows of Patterson. World women in widows black, wearing their sorrow like feathers on their backs. They grieve for husbands, they grieve for sons, and feed the crows of Patterson. On the ground you might be safe, no room for doubt in the darkness of the cave. On the ground where memories grow, silence the crow, silence the crow. In the hill mouth, in the cave, you wanna run, but you know you must be brave. 'Cause what you're left with when you are done won't feed the crows of Patterson. Underground you might be safe, no room for doubt in the darkness of the cave. Underground where memories grow, silence the crow, silence the crow.
Wow. Nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. I like that, Art. Fantastic. You got no microphone there, my friend. And I got these big headphones on now. So
And you can hear me.
I can now I can hear you. Go ahead.
No, it was awesome. I loved listening to the warm-ups before we went on the air.
No,
I
that's
knew it
very
was
cool,
going to
too.
be good tonight.
That's it. If
Well, thanks, guys.
For those of you watching on radio, there it is. Sweet Old Life, R.G. Evans, 10-track full-length CD. So when did you do this? When did you put it out?
We recorded in 2017. It came out 2018.
Okay, so it's about a year old or so.
Yep.
Who told you that you needed to put out a CD? Who got on you? Let me hear it.
Her name was Nancy Falco McBride. She used to be a Philadelphia area songwriter. She lives in Ireland now. She comes back every year to lead a songwriting workshop down in Cape May, or Galloway Township now,
Okay.
actually. And yeah, she was. I'd known her for years, but she always knew me as a poet. She never knew me as a songwriter. And I played some songs I had, and she said, "You got to get into the studio." And she said, "You got to meet this guy, Frank Petrucci, who wasn't at the workshop that year, although he's attended in years past." She said, "I think you guys will be able to put something together really nicely." And as it turns out, he's married to a woman I've known for years, another poet, Alyssa Pecora. And I didn't know him, but I knew his wife. And yeah, we struck up an immediate friendship, an immediate musical partnership. And he had a real vision for these songs, which were just me on acoustic guitar to begin with. And it's a fully orchestrated band-oriented CD that he's put together. It's phenomenal production.
I see that. I also, he's got our buddy Billy Siegel on keyboards, Art.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Billy.
phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
Yep. Billy of the Whirling Dervishes. Same Billy Siegel, right?
Splintered Sunlight.
Yeah, it's Sun, right? So Sunlight, yes.
Mhm.
And you also got Maureen McCrink on backing vocals.
Tremendous voice.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Both the McCrink sisters are outstanding vocalists. But my main man has he did the mastering, huh? George Worth.
Oh, yes.
George, to me, George Worth is one of the greatest singer-songwriters that ever roamed the planet.
He's a New Jersey treasure.
Oh
Definitely.
my gosh, it's beyond me how he hasn't been nominated for a Grammy Award yet.
Mhm.
So, very good though, very cool. I liked it. I like it. Oh, what's this track number 4? The Quit Drinking song. All right, that's it. Interview over, Art. Quit drinking.
You've come to the right place.
No. I'm just teasing.
There's a lot of drinking songs in country music. You know,
This
I,
is true.
my music is kind of like alt country or outlaw country, Americana. So I thought, how about a quit drinking song? So that's where that came from.
What is Americana? What is your take on Americana?
My take on America, that's a good question. It's kind of a catch-all phrase that they use, you know. To me, it's acoustic based. American themes in the songs, not necessarily relationship theme, political theme, personal struggle theme.
Isn't that called folk?
There's not much difference.
That's what I'm saying.
There's not much difference.
There's
There's a new label every year for something.
I have a friend who lives out in Kelowna, British Columbia. She messaged me a while back on Facebook. She says, "Danny, what kind of artist do you think I am?" I said, "What do you mean?" "Somebody's trying to tell me I'm Americana. I'm Canadian." I'm from British Columbia.
It's Canadiana.
Yeah, she's Canadian, and I guess I don't know, but so you have an Americana sound. I say, well, what the? Because I do. I have a real issue with that term. That, and when I talk to younger people, well, what kind of music do you listen to when you like have a bad day? Oh, indie. Okay, who? Oh, just indie. What's indie?
Alternative. That's another good one.
Alternative rock.
What's alternative to alternative now? You know?
Correct.
Alt country is another phrase that they use.
Yeah.
You know? I think there's a stigma associated with country music. Some people think of hee haw, you know, when you think of country music, or if those that like the kind of music that was on hee haw think of it, they think of some of the more contemporary pop kind of country songs that they don't even consider country. So, you know, if you want to call yourself outlaw country or alt country, you still got that term, that country term in there. I think Americana is a way of getting away from both folk and country.
Possibly. I don't know. They don't come up with a clear definition for the thing there. I'm looking at your picture on the back of the disc here, and then Claire posted in the Facebook event, which you can go to Danny Coleman's Rock on Radio 2, the number 2.com, and find that on Facebook, or facebook.com/Danny Coleman's Rock on Radio 2. The website is Danny Coleman's Rock on Radio.com. But a picture of you where you don't even have a beard.
There's a picture of me without a beard.
Yeah, let's see.
There's another. There
Here
are
it is.
3 R.G. Evanses. There's the one. Oh yeah, that's me.
That's you. You got mutton chops going on there.
That's the author photo
the
of
old-
my first book of poems. That's the author photo.
Okay, well, you got like the Fu Manchu look going on there. What do you think, Art? I got the R.G. Evans starter set.
You've been working on that a while, though.
Just a starter kit.
I don't know who's digging up stuff like that while I'm on the air, but tell them to stop.
That's our producer.
She's got a
remote
bad
location.
connection in Afghanistan.
So, okay. Growing up, but when did you start to play? What?
I started playing
high
guitar,
school, college?
7th or 8th grade.
Okay.
I was a guitarist in the folk group in my church, Catholic church, you know, and did that for a number of years. And one of the guys in that group had a band that everybody quit on him before their job at the American Legion that Saturday night. So he said, "Hey, let's put together a band." So, you know, it was like Andy, what's his name? Mickey Rooney. Like, let's put on a show, you know. So we put together a band in 5 days and played this gig, and I was, I don't know, 14, 15 years old, you know. And
Is that your first gig ever?
That was my first gig ever. Still have pictures of that. What's your producer's name? Caroline? Claire. She better not find any of those pictures. I don't want anybody seeing that polyester shirt that I wore.
Leisure suit.
Yes. Yeah, I had one of those too.
Powder blue, man. Got to have the
Didn't
powder
we
blue.
all?
But they only came in like 2 colors, right? Powder blue and brown.
Yeah.
I can beat that though. My mother made my leisure suit.
Whoa!
And she made my father a matching one. So
Oh.
the 2 of us had matching leisure suits.
Did you ever wear them at the same time?
Confirmation.
Were you both making your confirmation?
Confirmation as fashion plates. Yeah.
There you go. That's a statement. What do you think, Art? That's a statement.
Pretty much.
I'm telling you. All right. So you started playing. I mean, my first gig, I was just about the same age.
Mhm.
I had barely 14 years old. Literally barely, like 14 in 3 days or something. Then we played a wedding because they needed a wedding band. And none of us had ever jammed together. I'd have our mom take us in our
Oh,
cars.
yes. Lots of that.
So, is that when you got bit by the bug? Because we all get bit by that bug.
I think so. You know, I mean, you mentioned Springsteen before. I think when I was growing up, I wanted to be Bruce Springsteen. That job was already taken. You know, so I always played in cover bands. And I've got some friends that nowadays they're songwriters, and they really frown on playing cover songs. And I love playing cover songs. I was thinking that earlier when you said that about not being able to write songs yourself. Because George Thorogood used to say, you know, why should I write songs? All the good ones have already been written. You know, and he played all those Chuck Berry songs, and Bo
All
Diddley
the
songs.
old blues tunes.
Yeah.
And he did them his way.
And I love playing cover songs. Mm-hmm.
See, I've been in cover bands my whole life and made a lot of money. But within the last 10 years, I've learned to appreciate original artists because, that one, and I've said it on this program multiple times, Scott Stamper, the owner of The Saint in Asbury Park, said at one of the Asbury Music Awards that the people you're hearing on this stage are writing the cover tunes of tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Any one of them could be writing the cover tunes of tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And he's right. But if you don't support them and help them, it's amazing to me how a bar owner, a restaurant owner, doesn't want to part with $100 a man or whatever it is, so you can play for 2 hours or 3 hours while they make $1,000 on the bar and the food. They don't want to give you $100. Yet cover bands, people, they love them. They flock there.
I know.
An original artist will come in, bring maybe 10, 15, 20 people. People will stay and listen, and they won't spend the amount of money, the same amount of money, because there's less of them. But they don't want to pay them at all.
Right.
And it's really, it's a struggle to get your music out there, whether you're in a cover band or you're in an original band. But who the heck can these days? I mean, the original venues have dried up. What's it like down in Salem County? I mean,
Not much. Usually when I play, I come up this way. There's a great little funky little bookstore called Bogart's Books that has been very good to me. They don't pay for the entertainers, but they have a tip jar, and the clientele there tip very well. In fact, I'm playing there this coming Friday night.
Okay.
Bogart's in Millville. I noticed your T-shirt. You're wearing a Cafe Artiste T-shirt. That's why we're very fortunate to have places like that here too. Cafe Artiste in Neptune, Cafe Improv in Princeton. These great listening rooms where people go there just for that reason, to listen to original songwriters.
And you did the peer sessions with my good buddy Dave Burke.
I did. I played for him down at Lizzie Rose Music Room.
Oh, just last week?
No, that was a couple weeks ago.
Was that a couple weeks ago? Okay. It was the Williams Boy or no?
Son of Dove.
Yeah, I think it was all the same.
I don't think it was I don't know. The Williams Boy.
How many were there?
15.
I mean, acts.
4.
Because I know the Williams Boy just played down there for something. Thought it was Lizzie Rose. The Amazing Kreskin is going to be there this Saturday. Art.
Oh, is that this week already?
Yeah, the Amazing
Lizzie Rose.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he called here last week. The Amazing Kreskin. I didn't know that.
I think he's playing much smaller venues these days.
Yeah, well,
Apparently.
but
But he knew he was going to do that eventually.
sooner or later, he knew he'd get the right number.
It's almost kind of nice though. It's just a little bit more intimate,
Yep. Oh yeah. Now there's a man that's got a million stories. I was supposed to be on the phone with him for 20 minutes. I was on for 45, and I had to ask him if I could call him back or cut the interview because I had a doctor's appointment. I'm out front of my doctor's office on the phone. Hey, but yeah, the venues just aren't there. They're just not. I was contacted by a gentleman who used to run a nice singer-songwriter showcase. Nobody got paid. There was no tip jar. I mean, you got a free drink. Anybody who was in it got a couple of free drinks out of the bar. But he contacted me and said, hey, I'm thinking about starting it up again. But I just don't know if the vibe is there. Is there anyone that's going to want to support it? Anybody going to want to come out? Is there any? And it kind of hurt me to tell him, no, I think you're right. I don't think you're going to be able to get 13, 14 artists to come out once a month because they're all going to the bars on Friday and Saturday to listen to cover bands. So the scene in this area has changed drastically, but all over, even Asbury Park, which has got tons of places for original music, doesn't have as big a ton of music as they did before. Whereas they might have had 5 tons, now they've only got 3.5. But that's still the place to go if you want to showcase your original music. I just don't understand why bar owners don't want to pay. I mean, if you're budgeting, you should budget for that. If you have a music budget,
I think so.
no, well, that's just me. But if you're just tuning in, this is Rock on Radio. Our guest tonight is Bob Evans. You can find him under RG Evans. Do another tune for us.
Well, I wasn't going to play this one, but you mentioned it earlier, the Quit Drinking song. This is one of those that I emailed you about previously.
Okay, that is fine.
This kind of goes along with the the other song that's coming up, the addiction song. So this is called Quit Drinking Song. I dreamed I was W.C. Handy, but this morning I'm W.C. Fields, with a big booze hound nose blooming red as a rose, and a head just as sick as it feels. If I can move before sundown, I'll get up and right me some wrongs. I'm in my bed writing songs in my head, like this time it's serious. Good God Almighty, it's way past the time I should kick. It's my quit drinking song. Goddamn you, I.W. Harvard. Here's spit in your eye, Jimmy Beam. This craving for bourbon I ought to be curbing just keeps a curb stomping me. If I can move before sundown, I'll get up and right me some wrongs. I'm in my bed writing songs in my head, like this time it's serious. Good God Almighty, it's way past the time I should kick. It's my quit drinking song. You said I should quit it cold turkey, but it's Wild Turkey's voice that I heard, preaching God's own truth. My blood's 45 proof, and I keep flipping off the wrong bird. If I ain't dead before sundown, I'll get up and right me some wrongs. And I'm in my bed writing songs in my head, like this time it's serious. Good God Almighty, it's way past the time I should kick. It's my quit drinking, this time I'm serious. Good God Almighty, it's way past the time I should kick. It's my quit drinking song.
Bob Evans here on Rock On Radio. Man, I like it.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Thanks, guys.
I have never heard somebody reference W.C. Handy in the tune ever before. Wow. Our friend Christine Ullman.
Oh, yeah.
She always goes down in the W.C. Handy Festival down in New Orleans every year. Jody Weber's tuning in. She said, I love his voice, and the words are making me nostalgic, reminding me of Bobby. Bobby was her significant other who passed away, singer-songwriter.
I'm sorry to hear that, but thank you.
But see that? You're touching somebody's soul, my friend.
Excellent.
Is that the goal? I mean, I
To
get
connect soul to soul, I think. I think so.
yeah.
When I said W.C. Handy, I saw you look up.
Yeah.
And that moment I said, I got him. You know? So it's like,
I was like, whoa, I never heard anybody reference W.C. Handy in our song. This could be our caller, I think, Art. This could be possibly Melanie. Hello, welcome to Rock On Radio. Who is this?
Hey, Danny, it's Melanie Tolbert. How are you?
All right, Melanie, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So good. So excited to be on your show tonight.
Wow. Say hello to my in-studio guest, Bob Evans.
Hi, Bob Evans.
Hi, Melanie. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? You guys having a good time tonight?
Great time.
Ooh,
Awesome.
I'm glad to hear that. All right, Melanie, tell us, Melanie. tell us about you. You're a songwriter. You're an actress. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, my the new song I have out is called Addiction Salvation, and it is I wrote this one a couple of months ago, and I wound up getting a nice track put to it and got the song released, and I've had a great time going on radio shows, and it's doing really well streaming and things like that. So my primary thing, Danny, is I'm a singer-songwriter, and that's my true love. And kind of like my day job or my side thing has been the entertainment industry. So working, and I recently moved back from Los Angeles to Alabama to help my mom. So I'm back in the South, and it is extremely warm and humid here, and the summer's full swing. And I'm really enjoying being back in a small town too for the time being. But I did spend a couple of years in Los Angeles working on some nice big films and getting a lot of experience that way, and just enjoying the Hollywood experience. And it's been great these last couple of weeks to be promoting this new song though. So that's been going very well. Actually, I just got back from New York. I was doing an independent television show up there for radio for indie artists, and that was great. We did this really nice interview in front of Lincoln Square, and it turned out great. So I'll be releasing that next week.
Oh, great.
So, just trying to live the dream, my friend.
Oh, yes, we are. Now, you body doubled for Angelina Jolie, right?
Yeah, well, what I did is I actually was her stand-in photo double.
Okay.
And yeah, so they dressed me up just like her, and the scene will have me in it. You just don't see my face. So I look close enough to her that, from a distance or driving a car, it'll be me dressed up just like her. Or I go in to stand in, and they use me to set up the shot, like set up the cameras and the lighting and everything like that. I kind of just do her scene over and over until the crew gets that locked in. So I did that on several films too. That was a great experience. And I got to work on, I think my favorite was Changeling, because I got to work with Clint Eastwood. And that was just so cool to work with him and kind of have a crush on him. And oh my gosh, it was just like, he's such a legend, he's such a force. That is really a cool experience. So yeah, I did that. I did that on several of her films, and I did like poster doubling for her and commercial doubling and like makeup tests. So a lot of it's not just on the film. So, it was, I look enough like her that they think I'm a good mix, a good fix for it, or a good fit for it. So, yes, good, I know, right? It was awesome though.
Oh, good. All right. So tell us about the new tune that we're going to play actually in a minute when
awesome.
When we're done talking. So tell us about Addiction Salvation.
Okay. I wrote the song, and I have a couple of like my favorite influences for music are, songwriters that tell stories like Johnny Cash or Alanis Morissette, and even I like Lady Gaga a lot too. And this song tells a story of someone who's struggling with addiction. It could be any kind of addiction, be it from drugs, alcohol, to being hooked on your phone, to addicted to bad relationships. And in my particular case, it's a true story in terms of I had a severe eating disorder, which if I hadn't gotten help, it probably would have killed me. And I got a lot of good help, and I wanted to write a song that related to people in terms of, hey, we think that if you are having some kind of issue with being addicted to something, a lot of times we tell ourselves that, no, it's okay, I can stop. I've got this totally under control. And really, in a lot of cases, you may not. And it was hard for me to admit that I really had a problem and needed help. But when I did, it kind of took the shame and the embarrassment away from it. And I was hoping that this song would do the same thing for other people that are struggling with addictions, that it's okay to ask for help. And it's okay that it doesn't mean anything other than, just like a lot of us, we need help sometimes. And that's what this song meant to me. And it's been doing well with streams. It's actually got like 3,500 streams on Spotify or more.
Oh, great.
And and on SoundCloud, it's got like 50,000 streams. So it's connecting to people, and that really feels great.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So how do we find you, Melanie? What's your websites? How do we find you?
Okay, so the video's up on YouTube. So Melanie Tolbert and then Addiction Salvation. And in that, in the description are all my other links. But the song is on Spotify. It's on Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, Shazam. So it's on all the big streaming sites. And also, I have a Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. But it seems like people are connecting really with the YouTube video and on the Shazam stuff. On Spotify. So I think that it's fairly easy to find. And if anybody, wants a free download or something, you can get that right through my YouTube description, and it'll take you to all of the other sites too. So yeah, it's up on all the mainstream sites. So it makes it easy for people to go listen to it and everything.
All right, Mel. Well, we're gonna play it right now for you. And then when we come back, we're going to have the Deuce Music Minute. So thank you for taking the time to call in this evening and hang out with us for a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are we hanging up now, or are you coming back to me?
No, we're hanging up now.
Okay.
I have to get back to my in-studio guests. So.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Well, I'll be listening, and thank you so much for playing my song, and I really appreciate it, Danny. Thank you. I love your show.
All right, Melanie, no problem. Thank you. Best of luck with it, and we're going to get to it right now. Rock on, Melanie.
All right, thanks so much.
All right. This is Melanie Tolbert and her tune called Addiction Salvation here on Rock On Radio. Stay tuned, because we'll be back with RG Evans and the Deuce Music Minute right now.
You miss so many sunrises, 'cause you had to sleep one off. You charm him on and play your hand. You're totally in control, but you're in pretty good shape for the shape you're in. Well, that's your claim to fame. If you could just forget the invisible pain, and that the stars are bright in the sky. So you're rolling on the tide to get you through the night. Who's gonna call your bluff? You're so tough. But baby, don't you hear the meter running like a help? And baby, at the end of your life, who's gonna pay you fair? And baby, yeah, you've been so busy outsmarting everyone else, but that you did not see, you could not hear. You're only cheating yourself. You crawl in bed at daybreak. You had to tie another on, where you enjoy looking out for number one. 'Cause you're the be-all, end and all. You don't need anyone, including God. But you can quit anytime you want. Systematically you distract yourself. Still notice your sun shines cold. And so you make it dip, and I will take your credit. What's the difference anyway? So you waste another day. But baby, don't you hear the meter running like a hell? And baby, at the end of the night, who's gonna pay you fair? And baby, yeah, you've been so busy outsmarting everyone else, that you did not see, you could not hear. You're only cheating yourself. You're a gambler who always wins, even though you count the cards. You state this is who I am, but you know that you're not proud, and the clock's so loud. And baby, don't you hear the meter only cheating yourself. Cheating yourself.
Melanie Tolbert and Addiction Salvation. You can check that out. That's pretty cool of her to admit she needed help and everything she said, which is what the City of Angels tries to do for people all over.
It's the hardest thing to do is to admit that you need help. I mean, that's what I think most people struggle with is that first step. You know what I mean? And, I can't take you to help you if you're going to be kicking and screaming. It's going to do absolutely nothing.
And hopefully you get to that realization before the addiction gets to you. You know,
That's a true statement. I mean, everybody has their own bottom, whatever that is. Today we don't really wait for people to get to their bottom.
I didn't know rock bottom had a basement.
Yeah, it sure does.
But I've been there. Not with an addiction, but in other ways. So our guest tonight is R.G. Evans, but we call him Bob. Bob Evans here on Rock On Radio, and we're going to get back to him in about 2 minutes or so, because right now, though, we're going to get to the Deuce Music Minute. And tonight's Deuce Music artist is Mark Delmay. He's from Rotterdam,
Very
Holland.
good.
I got it in front of me now.
No, study it.
I've got it in front of me. He's been playing apparently since he was 16 years old, and he played in several bands. Is this guy your brother?
Sounds familiar.
I'm telling you.
Haven't we all?
He finds himself most comfortable writing and performing good, catchy pop tunes. He's performed on a number of different live musicals, including Hair and Jesus Christ Superstar. Shared the stage with the Dutch rock band Golden Earring. Radar Love.
I actually think I saw them at one time or another.
Singer Barry Hay, that's right. But he's got a new single out. It's called Days of Fun. It's about his early years on the island of Curacao in the Dutch Caribbean. You can find Mark on Facebook, Mark Delmay, MARC-DELMAY, or you can go to YouTube and just put in Days of Fun, and you'll be able to see Mark Delmay. And right now, though, in the Deuce Music Minute, we are going to play that song for you. So in the old days, it would be like, tape alert, tape alert, tape alert. Get your two fingers ready. Remember that? Two fingers, how to catch the tune, right? All right. But this is Mark Delmay and his new single called Days of Fun here on the Deuce Music Minute on Rock On Radio.
I wanna go back to the days of fun where I don't have to look down the barrel of a gun, where my hands not tied, when I can run free like a bird. When I can touch your face for the very first time, and I can taste your lips, then I make them all mine. Such a beautiful thing could never really erase my mind. I wanna comfort you with all of my might, and then we dance all the way through the middle of the night until we both break down and sleep the day away. When we can find ourselves in this beautiful dream, may we never wake up from this awesome scene. Could this never go wrong? I really ever wanna know. Then tell me, why do I feel this moment? And why am I stuck with this? And why does it wanna make me cry? Then tell me, why am I all of it? And why do I game on it? And why does my heart get so confused? Love is so good, don't wanna know, don't let it go. love you so much. Don't wanna know. Don't let it go. Sometimes I get the feeling I cannot hide. And then some facts never likely gonna change. Well, I guess this world could be worse at certain times. As long as I'm there, giving my skin. And as long as you're there, I might be giving in. And tell me, why do I feel so? And why am I stuck in this? And why does it want to make me cry? And tell me, why am I born of it? And why do I gain on it? And why is my heart so confused? Oh, love you so much. Don't wanna know. Don't let it go. Oh, love you so much. Don't wanna know. Don't let it go. I wanna go back into the days of fun where I don't have to look down the barrel of a gun, and where my hands never tight like a room free like a bird.
There you go, Mark Del May, the Deuce Music Minute right here on Rock On Radio. Sound like a door closed. Nice.
You're the drummer. No?
609-241-7103. If you want to talk to our guest tonight, Mr. Bob Evans. Hello, sir.
Hello, I want to talk to you.
There you go.
Call
Thank
in.
you. That's it. Thank you for your patience. We'll give you one of his albums. We will give you, graciously brought along some CDs, which we can ship out to you along with Rock On Radio merch. We've got hats, we've got magnets, we've got all kinds of things. We got Rock On Radio lube.
Still?
I still have 2 cases of it left. The Rock On Radio lube is Dial hand lotion. See?
Now you asked me where the inspirations for songs come from. I think there's one right there.
I think you should write that down. Went to the radio show. So take us through your songwriting process.
Well, go ahead.
You went to this class and you learned how they take you through structure and
No, it was much less formal than that.
okay.
It was just they would give you ideas and send you away and say write something. And I think at that point, Nancy already knew that I knew how to write a song. She was just trying to get me. She was trying to build up my confidence in the songs because nobody was listening to them but me. I'd sit around the house and play my songs and think, well, this is fun, And I already mentioned that I play out this place called Bogart's, but that's always been just a cover show for me. I play 2 hours of the songs that I like to play when I'm sitting around the house.
What do you like to play?
I like Crosby, Stills and Nash and Bob Seger and Springsteen and singer-songwriter stuff, James Taylor.
What'd you grow up listening to?
Well, Buck Owens, Johnny Cash,
Okay.
my father's music,
All right.
country music. And then I started listening to rock. I'm an only child. I didn't have any older brothers and sisters. There's one that always introduced you to the good music.
They hand you,
Yeah. I never had that. So I remember the first 2 rock albums I bought were Billy Joel's The Stranger and Foreigner's debut album. Bought them on the same day. Pretty different styles.
Mm.
But then I got into Bob Seger and Bruce Springsteen, John Mellencamp, that kind of, they're essentially singer-songwriters too.
Yeah.
They just have some pretty damn good bands behind them.
Well, they're the type of songwriter that paints pictures.
Yeah.
Like a George Worth, as we were talking about
Right.
George earlier. Bob Seger. I mean, All right, take a tune like Rock and Roll Never Forgets.
Yeah.
You're a little bit older and a lot less bolder than you used to be.
Mhm.
You used to shake them down. Now you start to think about your dignity.
Mhm.
As you get older, you're not as. I mean, I can picture that whatever what's a Sweet 16 stands 31,
Yeah.
right? So I can picture that.
And he was a young man when he wrote that too.
Yeah.
Now speaking of us,
Night Moves.
Great song.
Tunes like that.
One of my
And,
favorites.
Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen. These
Yeah.
guys painted pictures with their rock tunes.
Mhm.
The greatest opening line, as far as I'm concerned, out of any song, and I'm sure that's always up for interpretation. But the greatest opening line is Tom Petty. I was Barney Rubble. I'm sorry, Born a Rebel. Was Honey, Don't Walk Out.
I'm too drunk to follow.
You know you won't feel this way tomorrow.
Yep.
It's like, how many times you've been in that situation?
Yep.
But
They want to talk about great lines. This is why I like cover songs, because they're good ones that are out there already. I don't have to write them. Townes Van Zandt, Poncho and Lefty. The dust that Poncho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. That's just the best. That's the greatest line I've ever heard.
see, now first WC Handy, now Townes. Oh man, you could be my brother, man.
I'm happy to be. I just said I'm an only child.
See, now you got a brother.
I'm interviewing for that position.
I have not heard those names mentioned ever on
Really?
this program. Other than,
Really?
Christine Ullman, the Beehive Queen. She always is the Grand Marshal usually for the WC Handy Festival,
Ah.
or has been in the past.
Well, we were running through those lists of classic rock singer-songwriters, and I happen to think we're only talking about men. How about somebody like Mary Gauthier? Do you know Mary Gauthier?
No.
Oh, my heavens. Gautier. You got to look her up. She's got an album called Mercy Now. I
Okay.
think it was her first major studio album. Tremendous lyrics. Tremendous.
Hmm. That's the one good thing about singer, songwriter, folk, Americana, whatever, is that if you really listen to the lyrics, they do speak to you
Oh, yeah.
in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
So, why don't we do another tune?
Can we
Get
play
another
one
Sure.
from the CD?
Okay. Which one would you like Art to
Well,
whip up there?
there's two here that I would classify as Americana because they're not country and they're not folk, and they both have some pretty wicked Billy Siegel keyboard stylings on it. Why don't we go with Madame Tabasco?
It's an interesting title.
Well, there's a story behind that one.
Go ahead. While Art's finding it, you can tell us.
I was in Provincetown, Massachusetts for a poetry workshop, and I decided to get a massage, and I've never gotten a massage before. And I went to this place called Deanna's Healing Hands. And Deanna came out, and she looked like a bodybuilder. She was enormous, and it was a tremendous massage. And while she was massaging me, she told me that she performed in a cabaret under the name Madame Tabasco. And talk about, being struck by a bolt of lightning. I said, I got to write something about that. And she had this little statue of Buddha in her massage studio and this little painting of Jesus. So when you hear about Buddha and Jesus, that's talking about the statue and the painting that are in here. But I happen to think this has a pretty good opening line too. And it's a thing. If you think about her as being a massage therapist, it's Madame Tabasco had 2 gloves of human skin, the only things that she could use to keep the fire in. So there's
Nice.
their story behind Madame Tabasco.
Okay, well, we're gonna have Art spin that right now here on Rock On Radio. If you want to give us a call, please do 609-241-7103. We'll give you a copy of Sweet Old Life and from our guest Bob Evans. But right now, Madame Tabasco on Rock On Radio.
Madame Tabasco had 2 gloves of human skin, the only thing that seemed to help her keep the fire in. She oiled them to keep them soft and spread them with perfume. Then she hung them under Buddha in the corner of the room.
Buddha on his altar watched the gloves with Jesus Christ. They kept each other company and ate basmati rice. And every now and then they touch the gloves and fantasize about Madame Tabasco and the fire in her eyes. Every night at sundown, Madame T would take those gloves. They perch right on her hand just like a pair of morning doves. She wrote goodbye to Jesus and Pat Buddha for good luck. Then she go to town and disappear. Midnight hour struck. Every night at midnight, Madame T came home again. But Jesus Christ and Buddha never asked her where she been. She take the gloves off, steaming hot, and hang them on a hook. Then she go and start a fire, thumbing through her leather book. Madame Tabasco went to bed at 12:30. She take the gloves, believe the Buddha, and oh Jesus shell. Jesus Christ and Buddha dreamed all night with fever dreams about Madame Tabasco and the fire in the rain. Madame Tabasco, Madame Tabasco.
Bob Evans, Madame Tabasco.
You like that?
Very cool tune. I like that. Kind of a honky tonkish ragtime type of
It's really good.
tune. Yeah.
I really
guys.
I like it, man.
I mentioned Frank Petrucci as the producer. That's one that really has him written all over because it was really just a very simple finger picking song when Doug took it into him, and he had all these ideas about the background singers and the instrumentation, and Billy contributed a lot too. He played all the way through it. We cut most of his stuff out and just left that piano solo, and then there's a little bit of harpsichord at the end that he throws in. It's really just accents the song. But yeah, Frank took my songs that were just simple little acoustic guitar songs, and he really turned them into something. You know, I can't thank him enough.
No, I was saying while the music was playing that I can't believe that he and I have never crossed paths before. You know, usually
It's a small world.
I'm telling you. Well, you know, I was playing golf last week, and these two guys joined up with myself and my buddy because we were two and they were two, and the course was backed up a little bit. And the guy mentioned that he lives in Perth Amboy, and I said, whereabouts? And he said off of Florida Grove Road in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. And I looked, I said, I had a buddy lived off of Florida Grove Road. He says, where? I said, Barry Avenue. And he knew who it was. So it turns out we knew the same people. And he started naming neighbors. I was like, look, I can guarantee I've been probably, you know, at a picnic with them.
It's a small world.
Yeah. Very small. Okay, so now what are you going to do to get it out and get it heard? What have you done over the last year to do this?
I'm here tonight.
That's it?
No,
Your future is not good. No.
I created some social media sites that I didn't have before. I didn't have the music page on Facebook. I didn't have Instagram. You know,
and these sites are?
RG Evans Music on both
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram.
All right.
At www.rgevanswriter.com is my personal website that hasn't been updated for a while. But if you're looking on it, I'll make sure I update it pretty soon.
Oh, My personal website is dcror.com. Producer Claire handles that. She's posting in here again
Excellent.
from a remote cave in Afghanistan.
She's got a pretty good internet connection.
I'm telling you, she does all right. So, well, what do you have coming up for gigs? You have anything coming up? Or
Well, you know, I mentioned before that I'm kind of new at this, and I really have just started promoting myself with gigs too. I've generally been playing down at Bogart's a couple of times a year in Millville, New Jersey. I've been doing that for a couple of years, but I've got some gigs coming up on August 1st. I'm playing at a singer-songwriters series at Bradley Beach. It's a Thursday night. I think it starts at 7 o'clock. August 18th, I'm playing another singer-songwriter. You mentioned your friend that asked you about those series. Well, this is Rick Barth. I think you know Rick.
oh
Rick
yeah,
Barth
I
as
know
well.
Rick. I know Rick.
So I'm playing for Rick Barth singer-songwriting series on August 18th at Drewby's in Manville.
Mm-hmm.
And the very next night, I'm playing at this place that they just love me. I don't know. You talk about why you and I have never met. I don't know why I haven't found this place earlier. I played there for a gig, and the staff was just, you got to come back. We got to get you back here. And they've had me back once already, and now they're having me back on August 19th at the Sterling Hotel in Sterling, New Jersey. This is a beautiful, funky little place with a beer garden in the back, an outdoor eating area, indoor bar, the only air-conditioned porta potty I've ever seen in my life. That's worth it for the
They
trip right
exist?
there. This one does.
Was it one of those real big ones that was like a bathroom and a shower?
Well, I think they made it themselves. It looked like it was made out of a silo,
Oh, okay.
part of a segment of a silo, and then they put an air conditioner in there. So I had to visit that. When are you going to find one of those? Another time?
Ingenuity.
So those are some gigs, and this Friday, this is pretty cool. To me, at least, one of my major influences was Warren Zevon. I love his songwriting, and people have told me for years that I kind of sound like him. So I have this attraction to Warren Zevon, and I joined this Warren Zevon Facebook group, and this guy that lives 30 minutes from me is in that group too. And he contacted me. He said, "Look, I play keyboards, and I've always been wanting to play Warren Zevon songs with somebody. Can we get together?" So this Friday at Bogart's, Mike Danzik, the keyboard player, and I are going to play a tribute to Warren Zevon. And when I went to Mike's house to rehearse these, he said, "We can play some of your songs too. I've learned all of your songs." So we started playing some of the songs off my CD, and he knew them from beginning to end on keyboards. It was the most amazing, flattering, humbling experience I've ever had. This guy sat down, and because of our mutual respect for Zevon, he also likes my stuff. So this Friday we're going to be playing original tunes and Warren Zevon tunes at Bogart's in Millville.
That's how music brings people together. Man.
It's amazing.
It is. It really is. Speaking of Friday, we have a special Rock on Radio happening, Art.
We do.
This coming Friday, July 26th, live on air at 6 p.m. 6 to 7, possibly 8 o'clock. May go 2 hours, may only go 1.
Is that up to them?
Pretty much. But no, we're going to, there's a touring band.
We're going to give you 2 hours. Nah, I'm good.
Well, I'll explain that later. There's a touring band there called Weapons of Anew. They're from the New York and Northern Jersey areas, and they're currently out on the road for opening up for former Creed lead singer Scott Stapp.
Who just played at the Lavoie Theater down in Millville.
The other night on the 20th, right? Thursday night. That's the same band. The band that opened for him, will be in this studio live Friday, July 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. And they will be here performing the tunes from their album acoustically.
Unplugged
Metal bands. Matter of fact, I have to bring my congas, Art, so that the drummer has something to jam on, which will be kind of cool. So we will be live here, COARadio.com, Friday night, 6 o'clock. We go live with Weapons of Anew, only here on City of Angels Radio, COARadio.com. So if you want to call us, 609-241-7103, 609-241-7103. Please give us a call. and we will give you join the conversation here. I mean, this is a very interesting man. Jody Weber said so in our thing here. So just go to the Facebook page, go to Danny Coleman's Rock on Radio 2 on Facebook, and you can see the things that Claire has posted. Pretty much everything we've had happen in the show tonight. So do so. But Bob Evans is with us. All right. So what's next?
How about if I play a brand new song for you that's only been heard by 2 other human beings?
So it's never been heard on the radio then.
That is correct.
It's a debut.
It is a debut.
Whoa. What do you think, Art?
We love debuts here.
We do. We do. We love debutantes.
We do. We love that too.
All right. What is it? Tell us about.
I will. You'll know the story behind some of the songs. So this is another shout out to my friend Frank Petrush. He sent me this very cryptic Facebook message. And he said, "Come over, Bob. I've got Dead Man's Whiskey here." I was like, I know a lot of brands, but I don't know that one. And as it turned out, he had some very wealthy acquaintance of his had passed away, and they went to their house, and the person who was the executor or something said, "You can take anything in this room." And they found this very expensive bourbon, and they brought the bourbon back. So as soon as I heard the phrase "Dead Man's Whiskey," I thought that sounds pretty cool. So, and this I just wrote this week, as a matter of fact, and I've got a cheat sheet here that I have to use for that very reason. And I think this is kind of inspired by Warren Zevon. I mentioned Zevon before, so this is Dead Man's Whiskey. Moses walked in the desert, Jesus walked on the sea. I walked out on living before it walked out on me. Muhammad went to the mountain, Buddha sat beneath his tree. And I've got Dead Man's Whiskey waiting home for me. Fire all of the guns, boys. This could be our final stand. Walk away if you want, son. I, for one, would understand. As for me, I'll be staying with my ragtag company. And I've got Dead Man's Whiskey waiting home for me. We can hunt the truth together, or you can hunt lies all alone. In the end, it might be better if we lit out on our own. I don't know what's waiting when you get to where you'll be, but I've got Dead Man's Whiskey waiting home for me. Adios, Campanero. This is where we say goodbye. The trail we rode was a rough one, and we bled each other dry. Maybe we'll meet again, son, though I doubt that destiny. 'Cause I've got Dead Man's Whiskey waiting home for me. Yes, I've got Dead Man's Whiskey waiting home for me.
Fantastic. Here on Rock On Radio, Bob Evans. That's its debut. World debut.
World
Debut.
Sunday.
That's it. Raceway Park.
Nitro burning funny cars.
That's right. Correct.
That place still exists.
Raceway Park? That was in Englishtown, right? Yeah. So
Yep.
I don't know. Englishtown still exists.
Not far from here.
No, true. About 20 minutes down the road.
I don't know where I'm at.
That way. That way. By the Holiday Inn.
That way. That way.
What are you going to do now? I mean, we're going to go. Do we have enough for another CD? Are we going to wait 45 years, as you jested earlier in the program?
Hopefully not. I don't know. My voice will likely change before then. So, I think I have enough for another CD. Just putting the money together to record it might be another thing. You know?
So, well, what made you go to Frank's studio?
It wasn't Frank's studio. It was recorded at Retro Media
Oh, okay.
Recording in Red Bank. Adam Vaccarelli's place, who's another miracle worker, the engineer and the owner of the studio. Great ears, so upbeat. I've never felt such support from another human being in my life. This guy was incredible. I just put the songs in Frank's hands and I said, look, you know how to do this. Call me, tell me where I need to be, tell me what I need to bring, and we'll put it together. And he's the one that had the vision, like I said, and he brought all the musicians together, and the rest, as they say, is history. That's one of those cliches I try to avoid when I write.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything cliche so far.
That's good. That's good.
So you've avoided them, as you alluded to earlier.
I avoid them like the plague.
Yeah. All right. So when you write this material, obviously you're very prolific and quite good at it. Where does it come from? I mean, you said you listened to your father's music growing up. Was he a musician or
No.
musical in any way?
No, I taught him how to play Boil Them Cabbage Down on the guitar, and it was the proudest moment of his life. And that was 3 chords, and that was the extent of it. He played it for the rest of his life after I taught him that song. He loved music.
Okay.
He loved music, but my mother played the harmonica a little bit, but they really weren't musical themselves.
Did she teach you, or?
I probably picked it up from her. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the style I play is a lot different than the style she played, but I couldn't even, she played very rhythmic, all over the place kind of harmonica.
Like the kind you would hear in a polka band? Maybe?
Yes.
Oh,
my
so
my
like-
Polish mother definitely played harmonica
So
like you
like-
hear in a polka.
There you go.
Yes.
So like the chromatic type harmonica.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I actually have one of those at home somewhere. I do.
I have 3.
They're a totally different sound.
They were my grandfather's.
Ah, the chromatics?
Yeah.
Oh,
They were all Poles. Saturday nights were fun at Grandpa's.
I'm telling you. Wow. All right. So when you go, do you ever just go out to bars to hear and listen to music? And if so, what do you like to go? What do you like to see?
This is the point where I should say, yes, I support local musicians everywhere, but
But you're not.
but no, I'm really very much a homebody.
Okay.
And there aren't, like down where I live, there aren't that many places that you can hear live original music. There's a few places, a few open mics and whatnot that they have down there. But as I've already said, I'm really only getting started in this, so I got to find a few other places to get my foot in the door and play. And how do you do that if you don't go out and listen to the other musicians? You know, so I've got my work cut out for me.
Well, you see, I'm not real familiar with the South Jersey music scene. There's a few spots around Little Egg Harbor and things of that nature that I'm familiar with, but I don't usually get down there that much because it's not like it's that far. Atlantic City is about an hour or so from my house, give or take 10 minutes.
Took me about an hour to get here today. So.
Yeah. Okay. So it's about the same. But for me, it's a haul. Like I have to take 206 South, and other than the Piccalilli, which has music, I'm not familiar with any of the bars that have music down there. So I wouldn't even be able to.
Well, there's a
point you
new
in that
venue, that
direction.
Union Firehouse, I believe.
That's in Mount Holly, though.
I don't know about that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, that's in Mount Holly. I mean, obviously the distance does not matter. He's like another Rick Winno, man. Distance does not matter to him.
No, not really.
Do you
How
know
about
Rick?
this? If there's anybody out there listening and you know some places that might want to have me play, call in. I'd like to hear those places.
609-241-7103. What do you do for cover material?
I have tons of music. Like I said before, I play with a vocal harmonizer, a foot pedal.
Okay.
I can sing 3-part harmony with myself, which is pretty cool. I saw this guy down in New Orleans using one of those, and I didn't know he was using it. And I said, "How are you harmonizing with yourself?" He said, "It was foot pedal." And that was the moment. At that moment, I thought, I got to get back into performing music because I like to play by my solo, you know. But that really just enriches the sound so much. But anything from Johnny Cash to Springsteen, Bob Seger. I used to play in a band called Bad Moon. We played a lot of Creedence, you know, so I do some Creedence stuff. Tom Waits, Guy Clark.
There's another name I haven't heard in forever.
I threw that one in for you. I did that one for you.
Guy Clark. Credence.
Joe Ely,
Who? Ely or Healy?
ELY.
Oh.
Joe Ely,
Oh, okay.
one of the Flatlanders.
Ah, I've heard. I'm not familiar with their stuff, but I have heard of them.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's do another tune. Want to do another tune?
Sure.
What you want to do?
This is not on the CD.
Okay.
It's not necessarily new, but not on the CD. And you might want to know the inspiration behind this song, and I'm not sure there is one. I think I just had the title, and it went from there. I'm all thumbs, not the green kind good for growing, or the kind you hold up showing you're just fine. But when it comes to catching rides home with a stranger, my heart hitchhikes into danger every time. There's lots of women waiting for the man that I could be. Prince Charming, price to move at the Quickie Mart. High five me, my lady, but be careful what you start. I'm Mr. Right with a left-handed heart. Two left feet makes it kind of hard for dancing, even harder for romance between the sheets. But the other shoe will never fall when we're together. You won't catch me pounding leather on the streets. If you're looking for a show thing, don't put money down on me. I've got the clumsy touch, I make things fall apart. I'm a bull in a china closet, take me down with your sweetheart. I'm Mr. Right with a left-handed heart. Yes, if you're looking for a show thing, don't put money down on me. I've got the clumsy touch, I make things fall apart. I'm a fool in your china closet, take me down with your sweet dart. I'm Mr. Right with a left-handed heart.
Bob Evans here on Rock On Radio. If anybody wants a copy of this disc, you can do so by giving us a call, 609-241-7103. What's with the title there, Mr. Bob? Sweet Old
that-
Life.
Well, that's the title cut. It's ironic, which I think should be reflected in the cover picture, which is Bourbon Street. It's a great picture that a friend of mine's relative took and gave me permission to use it for that. But the lyrics of the cover of the title tune go, "It's the sweet old life is a bitter pill. The sweet old life is a bitter pill." So a little bit of irony infused in there.
This is true. You're caught. You're caught in the headphones.
That's all right.
There you go. And the wing nut on the right.
Don't call me a wingnut.
You're right.
Thank you.
I've been called worse on this program by relatives. If you're just tuning in, this is Rock On Radio. I am Danny Coleman. Our guest tonight is Bob Evans here on Rock On Radio. Engineer Art is in studio.
Melting.
Yeah, even though we've had the Art turn the air on like yesterday, and it's still
It's
it is-
bad, man,
oh,
when the air
man.
won't keep up with like the 114 degree weather.
Yeah, it is warm, but
We need a walk-in ice box. That's it.
we do. We should just put the studio.
Broadcasting live from LNG Liquors.
Oh, good. I like your thinking, Art. So, how many gigs have you done in this attempted? I don't want to say comeback, because
I've been busier this summer than I have in years.
okay.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I'm playing just as much as I want to. Let's put it that way.
Oh, it's even better. As long as you're okay with it.
I am.
What is it that you expect to do with these tunes? I mean, because they're great. I am thoroughly impressed.
I don't know what kind of goal this is, but I mean, ultimately, I'd like to get them out there where people hear them, and I'd like to have some other artists record them.
Why?
I don't know. I just think that would be the ultimate acceptance of the songs. I mean, sure, I'd like to perform myself, but I would love to have them picked up by somebody else and
Have you thought about licensing for movies or television commercials?
I've thought about all that.
Okay. Is that as far as it went?
Yeah, I just don't. I don't.
Maybe I'll get that song in a movie. Oh well, next.
Well, that's what this woman that was the leader of the songwriting workshop. She said the most money she's made off of one of her songs was picked up from a car commercial. And but the steps to do that, I don't know what those steps are. So
Licensing. That's what it is. That's where it's at. Plastic, son.
thank you, Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah, but that licensing. That's what. That's where. Oops,
sorry.
That's where you seem to need to be these days, because the way I look at it, I mean, I'm a drummer, so I really don't have any skin in the game. I'm not writing songs, and people are not and selling them to movies or television. But I'm at that point where I'm 56 years old. I don't think I'm going to be touring with a rock band anytime soon, unless Art and I go on the road.
You never know, man.
It's true. Stones are in town. They may need a replacement with this heat.
Might fall off the drummer.
The Rolling Stones are at the Link tomorrow night.
Yeah, I heard.
Lincoln Financial Field. Yeah. Their final tour, somebody said.
Yeah, sure.
It would almost have to be, wouldn't it?
I can imagine. But it is what it is.
I saw somebody put them through that Face app on Facebook the other day.
Hmm.
They didn't look that different.
True. I can believe that. I saw the poster one time.
Didn't Mick Jagger just have like open heart surgery or something?
Yeah, he had a little
And
valve.
a valve replacement.
Yeah. I watched, I saw somebody put up a Facebook post. There's a poster, picture of Keith Richards. And it said, we really should start being concerned about the world we're going to leave him.
Mhm.
Been around forever, right? Keith Richards. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Rock On Radio. Our guest is Bob Evans. And he's got this great CD out here called Sweet Old Life, which I will give to you if you want to give us a call at 609-241-7103. So let's see, who'd you have on here? You had yourself, which was
I'm on almost every track.
amazing how that happens. Frank, Andy Hunerberg.
Your guess is as good as mine, but he
Okay.
was an excellent bassist and banjo player. I like
Yeah.
to play one of the banjo tracks on the CD if we can before
Okay.
I leave.
Tell Art whichever one you want to do. We'll do that. Dan Trent
Guitarist extraordinaire. He laid down some amazing slide guitar on a couple of tracks.
and mandolin. Yes. Vic Bears.
Am
on
I
drums.
guessing Mountain Dixie is some of that?
That's the one. Yeah. Vic Bears is the drummer with the Sonny Ken trio.
Oh, is that who plays with Sonny? Okay, Sonny's been a guest of this program before. He came in with Sandy Mack, actually. Let's see. Steve Brown on drums and percussion. Our buddy Billy Siegel, we already mentioned, on keys. Al Milewski, or Milewski, however it's pronounced.
Milewski,
Milewski, right? I had it right the first time.
He does a little bit of fiddle and a little bit of
Violin.
strings
yeah. Okay.
arrangement on another song.
And as we said, Amy Broza and Maureen McCrink.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Yeah, he assembled a very nice conglomerate of studio guys.
They all knew what they were doing.
How long did it take you to make it?
It took a little over a year,
Oh, okay.
just because of the scheduling and my work schedule and the studio schedule and everything. I could really only come up on weekends during the school year because I'm a high school teacher. So we spread it out, and it took about a year to get it done.
You know, one of the things I find funny is did you all right, took about a year. What was the first track you laid down? Do you remember?
Might have been The Other Woman's Other Man.
Okay, The Other Woman's Other Man. Now, a year later, did you revisit that and say, oh, I want to change this, I want to change that? I mean, that's such a long time in between.
Not so much. I mean, we got it right.
Okay.
Frank and I got it right.
Fantastic. That's what I like to hear.
Especially that one track you just mentioned. If there's a single on the CD, it's The Other Woman's Other Man.
There you go. All right, well, what are we going to hear now?
Mountain Dixie.
That's what I queued up.
Get a little bit of banjo in there.
Okay. You want to talk about that one, or
Yeah, I was playing with I was playing with a banjo player, a multi-instrumentalist. She played banjo and she played mandolin, and we were trying to come up with names for the act. And I had just discovered that band called Hayseed Dixie. I don't know if you know them. They play bluegrass versions of AC/DC songs. They're called Hayseed Dixie. And I said, let's get Dixie into it. And we were coming up with all these possible names, and one of us said Mountain Dixie. And as soon as we heard it, we thought that's a little bit of a double entendre. I don't know if that's a good name or not. Mountain Dixie, So I thought, all right, let's write the song about that. So the partnership didn't end, but the song is still with us. Mountain Dixie.
there you go. Here on Rock On Radio, Bob Evans is our guest, and this is Mountain Dixie.
She was a daughter of the mountains, wildcat from the West Virginia hills. And I never loved a woman like my Dixie, and I probably never will. I never should have left her, but I did, and I went rolling like a gypsy. Every year it gets a little harder. I miss Mountain Dixie. I miss the old country breezes and the way I walk with Jesus by my side. And you said I'd never see Nolans again, I think I'll sit right down and cry. I miss the bluegrass, green, brown, white line, and the old lady tipsy. Well, never knew the thing about the South. Like I love Mountain Dixie. I love Mountain Dixie. She loved riding shotgun in my truck. And when she wasn't riding shotgun, Mountain Dixie taught me 13 ways of thanking the Lord for my good luck. We never had to grind too many years ago from 0 to 16. If the comfort bill was speed up just for me, that's why I miss Mountain Dixie. I miss the blue country breezes and the way I walk with Jesus by my side. And if you said I'd never see New Orleans again, I think I'll sit back down and cry. I miss the bluegrass, green, bright, white line, and they all made me tipsy. But I never loved a thing about the South like I love Mountain Dixie. I miss the blue country breezes and the way I walk with Jesus by my side. And if you said I'd never see New Orleans again, I think I'll sit back down and cry. I miss the bluegrass, green, bright, white light, and they'll make me tipsy. But I never knew a thing about the South like I love Mountain Dixie. I never knew a thing about the South like I love Mountain Dixie.
Very cool. Thank you. Nice. That was Bob Evans, Mountain Dixie, off of Sweet Old Life. Guys are running out of time. Madame Tabasco. That one still cracks me up. The Last Drinking Friend. There's a couple of drinking references on this CD there.
There are.
Bob, what was your favorite part about the whole recording experience? Besides the finished product.
I think all the steps getting to the finished product. You know, we'd get the rough cuts each time we'd go in, and Frank would tell me, "Don't play these for anybody because these are just rough cuts," and it just sounded so good. I play them for everybody I know, you know,
Right.
and then we'd build on that, and we go to the next step, and it was just an amazing process. And watching, you know, I contributed some notes here and there, but just watching Frank and I think I called him Andy before. Watching Frank and Adam put the songs together and have a vision. It was almost like playing chess. You know, if we put this in here, it's going to sound like that. And if we do that, it's going to sound like that. And I couldn't hear that far ahead. Like they could almost hear the finished product in their head. You know, they knew what they needed to put in there. And just watching it all come together was just magic to me.
Very cool. I know whenever I go in the studio, and it's been a while now, but I love the creative side of it. I love getting the tracks or whatever a week or two ahead of time and having to create original music or a track that hopefully they'll like enough
Right.
to use or keep. And if you're lucky enough to play more than one, it's really just kind of cool. Then you sit down behind the drum kit and put them headphones on, and it's like I'm making music here. It's really is a true definition of making music, so to speak. Not playing music, but
Indeed.
making music. Something that's going to be around for a long time.
It was also a great pleasure for me to play with these great musicians. I mean, we didn't always play simultaneously, as you know, that's the process goes, but just seeing them come in as professionals, do the tracks, lay the tracks down, and then often we'd go out and get a burger or something afterwards, and then just hanging out with them and just picking their brains about what they did and how they did the things that they did. I went from playing with nobody for years to playing with some of the best musicians I've ever played with. It was a great experience.
No, he did you right there. Frank did with a lot of them. Again, what are your websites and that sort of thing?
On Instagram and Facebook, RG Evans Music. And my personal website is rgevanswriter.com. You find information about my music and my 2 books of poetry on there.
There you go. Before the time gets away from me, once again, next Sunday or next Friday, we have a special Rock on Radio, July 26th at 6 p.m. We will have Weapons of Anew right here live in the studio with us. They'll be performing some unplugged versions of their tunes, as well as hanging out and talking about the tour with Creed, former Creed singer Scott Stapp. But before we get back to wrap things up, I want to. Something happened this week, during the week, or last week, I guess it was, that really hit home for me personally. My good buddy and one of the best mandolin players I've ever seen, Glenn Goss, passed away.
I saw that.
Remember Glenn called with David Usikkinen of the Hooters that night and how excited he was about the new music they had put together. And now you're starting to see, like, Eric Bazillion posted a picture of him and Glenn at a gig. He co-wrote some of the Hooters tunes, actually. Hanging on a Heartbeat, I believe, is the one that comes to mind. Anyway, so I want to send my deepest sympathies and condolences to his daughter and family and anybody Glenn touched. It's kind of funny to read the some of the things that are being posted on social media about him. Everybody using the same adjectives: kind, gentle, talk to you for hours. He and I, anybody who wants to check it out, he and I used to perform for a woman by the name of Zara Phillips. And Zara did a music video, which we shot in Seaside Heights, right before Hurricane Sandy. Literally.
The old Seaside Heights?
Yeah, exactly. Before Hurricane Sandy. So it was like August or September we shot this music video, or April, I forget. It was only a few months before Hurricane Sandy. And myself and Glenn, this guy, Cook Smith, Alvis, and a brilliant young violinist by the name of Taylor Hope. We were all in the music video. If you go to YouTube and type in Zara Phillips Red Boots, you'll be able to see all of us in this music video. But Glenn is there, and he was always just like so laid back and yet so willing to talk. He wasn't shy. He was just a great guy. And if you don't recall, when he called in with Usikkinen that night, he was it's the most excited I had heard him in a long time about a music project. He was out in Los Angeles, and apparently his heart just stopped working. So again, my condolences to anybody and everybody. And I truly lost a good buddy there. Even though he was out in LA, we would talk from time to time through the wonder that is Facebook and cell phone, but the music community, I know, in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and now as well as Los Angeles, and I believe he was in Florida for a bit too as well. The man went wherever the music took him, and he's going to be missed. I know that. David Usikkinen, I don't know if you're listening to this program at all, but to you and your fellow bandmates in the Hooters, my condolences. And time marches on. We march on. We go forward. But that's my little tribute to Glenn Goss.
Right.
Well earned. Good man he was, Glenn Goss. All right, we have about 5 minutes left. You have another tune that's like 2 or 3 minutes long, maybe? Something you can play?
I think so.
Okay. Our guest is Bob Evans. He's been a very good sport this evening, dealing with our shenanigans. What do you have?
We go together like a weapon and a wound. Harmony too dangerous to sing. The starless evening sky that's jealous of the moon. We'd be a perfect pair if it weren't for hearts and minds. Our hearts and minds will not be one. I always joked you were the damsel I distressed. A knight in rusted armor you called me. Is what's left when happily ever after's gone. We'd be a happy ending if it weren't for hearts and minds. Our hearts and minds will not be one. Seems that one of them has always got the other on the run. When your mind's made up, your heart comes undone. Now the generals have all spoken, and the battle's all but done. Our hearts and minds will not be one. We go together like a weapon and a wound. Harmony too dangerous to sing. The starless evening sky that's jealous of the moon. We'd be a perfect pair if it weren't for hearts and minds. Our hearts and minds will not be one.
Bob Evans here on Rock On Radio. Fantastic, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for your patience with us this evening. We had Melanie Tolbert call in. We had the Deuce Music Minute. What else do we have? Do we have anything else, Art?
That was it tonight. It was quiet.
That's it, right? Okay. Well, you've got about a minute and a half left if you want to give us a call. If you liked what you heard here tonight, 609-241-7103. Please do so. And if you're hearing this on a re-air or a rebroadcast, dcror.com. If you want to send me a message, I will have a copy or two of these I can send you via that way. I always feel bad for the affiliates because maybe somebody wants to call that's listening to this on a rebroadcast. What do you think?
I think they do.
Why? Because the phone is
We
always...
have missed calls on the phone.
Again, this is Rock On Radio. I'm Danny Coleman. That is Engineer Art sitting over here. This is Bob Evans. Bob, man, your stuff is great.
I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dan.
Thank you so much for making the trip up here to sit with us.
My pleasure.
And where are you going tomorrow now? You're leaving? Going
Going to
airport?
Hartford, Connecticut to help a friend brainstorm some ideas for a play that he's writing.
Okay. You flying or you taking the train?
Take the train.
Oh, okay. All right. Not too bad. The train. Amtrak?
Amtrak.
There you go. See? Fantastic. Art, do you have anything before we wrap up?
No, that's it for
The walk, the run?
It's
the walk run?
We got the walk run. If you want to register for the walk run, it's September 14th. It's a Saturday. It's from about 8 till about noon. We have Kevin Toft and the alternators playing.
Okay. Yes, there will be music.
There will be music. It will not be Rockfest.
Kevin
but
Toft
there will
just
be
did
music.
he just did the happy hour the other night.
Yeah. I was going to come, but that was
Our next one is August 1st. Chin and Blum.
That's my dad's birthday.
We'll have to come have a drink, a toast to your father. All right. Oh, and Claire just put the Zara Phillips Red Boots video in the Rock on Radio event for Bob Evans tonight. So if you want to see what I was talking about, Glenn is the mandolin player. You check him out. And that's that. Again, Bob, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Danny.
Best of luck. If you ever need us, you got friends here now. And if you ever need us, just ask.
That's great to hear. Thank
All
you.
right. There you go. All right. And till next week, rock on. Get the cameras. I know.